Welcome one and all to the opening match of 2021 MSI. And for this first match we have Korea's D1G1 going up against Cloud9 from North America. And it's already so refreshing to see the change up in champion picks and compositions coming out from these two squads here. It's so different from what we saw both these teams play in their own regional leagues, but of course the patch has advanced a couple of times since then, and it's good to see people being able to adapt, keep up, and try out some new things here. Level 1 went down rather uneventful. We see Cloud9's deep board here already getting cleared out, and well, the most curious thing that jumps out is of course the Morgana jungle here coming in from Canyon. And if you have not read the patch notes in the last couple of months really, it is a very prominent jungler these days, the Morgana pick. It's very popular in solo queue, and everybody has anticipated her pro play debut. Not a real debut, but at least her comeback to the big stage in the jungle, and there she finally is. Canyon. Who better than Canyon to pull out this new hyped up pick from solo queue on the real big stage than this guy, hailed by many to be the best jungler in the world ever since last Worlds, really. And he's looking to make an impact on this new, very different champion from the jungle. Let's just say that. The mid lane matchup also so anticipated, highly so, by, not only expert but also of course fans around the world. There's a big narrative of this G2 D1G1 rivalry, and of course Perkz carries a part of that rivalry over to Cloud9 with him. So this matchup, not only in trash talk from these both guys, but also just the fans. Everybody was looking forward to this one. And some might be a bit disappointed here, honestly, by Perkz pulling out the Victor, not the most high pick. He's probably gonna have to be careful in that 1v1 matchup. But Showmaker on the Zoe definitely gonna be exciting to watch. And if you watched any EO West solo queue from these MSI pros, you know that this is one of the most hyped champions that many of these stellar pro players, of these elite guys, can work wonders on. For the topside matchup, nice to see as well. We have Fudge on the Gangplank and Khan on Gnar, which is, a bit out of the ordinary, but not too much. He is more so a tank player, this split, for this lineup at least. He mostly fulfills that role in D1, and it has worked out wonderfully for them so far, although many people have criticized that by him not being as explosive and not as carry oriented as Nuguri was, the team might have lost a few of their dimensions and their versatility, but so far it hasn't cost them at all. They won their split and the finals as well, rather uncontestedly. We see an early 2v2 in the bot side here. Barrow going in on the Leona, but of course with the Tom Kench, you have to screw up big time to get 2v2 killed here in this matchup. So Sven just gets devoured and gets himself out of there. Although Vulcan is now run out of mana, so maybe that's the point in time where D1G1 can look to punish here. Good trading coming in on the top side. Both, Fudge has already reset in this lane, but it did not need to teleport back. That was a good, nice early shove in from him. Therefore, of course, the wave is now pushing back into him, and he's gonna pick up these few CS, and Khan had a big of a experience advantage. But overall, that's something that's always great to see from top laners like Fudge here. He uses the cheater recall mechanic to its fullest, gets himself a reset, and then forces the Gnar to back and uses teleport. So now teleport advantage for Cloud9, although that's probably not gonna extend across the map, because Gangplank is not the scariest champion to teleport, flank, or just join any cross map fights before even completing a single item. You much rather just have his ultimate assisting you in those circumstances. It gives him an extra bit of security in this lane though, in case he got ganked. That teleport always gets him one get out of jail free card, if you will. Whew. Alright, this bot lane match, we see D1G1 really not holding back here, and Baron Ghost heard you talking trash, it seems, because they are just, so aggressive here early on, pushing in, and now even calling Canyon for the turret dive. Yet Predator activated, there's no getting out of this one unscathed. Cleanse used by Vulcan to get himself out of the way of this jungle Morgana, and already an impact made here by Canyon on this new pick, whereas Blabber so far has just gotten to farm his jungle camps really. And it's nice to see that D1G1 stick to their identity, although maybe not as expected that they attempt their first ganks bot side here. For the middle matchup, just before that gank, we saw Showmaker also using his teleport to get back to lane there. So Perks also with the summoner spell advantage in this matchup. But that's not anything too tragic for Showmaker either. He has the summoner spellbook, so he's gonna be just fine with having one summoner on a longer cooldown, so he can rotate through his, well, rune choices there. Whereas Perks is already completely out of mana, so I expect him to reset here very soon on that Victor and use his own teleport as well. So D1G1 really, for now, don't have to be scared. And I want to touch on another thing, which is the overall comp identity here for Cloud9. They're going super scaling in late game. Really not much early playmaking at all in that comp. Well, I would almost be tempted to say none other than maybe a flash chain of corruption from Sven. And that's a route that in particular LS wanted Cloud9 to take. He was very vocal about that before the matchup on his talk show. He was saying how hope they thought the Showmaker might get his flash forced here in the middle lane. He is dropping low and finally burns the summoner. Drake traded here from D1G1, but Cloud9 seem not to be done yet. The cannon barrage has been used from Fudge here, but with the Black Shield barrel able to walk it off. And so it seems as though nothing major would go down here. Still a little bit skirmishing over the crab, and Canyon actually grabs it with that, oh my lord, with that Morgana W, but Barrel might have overstayed his welcome here. No flash for the Leona. First blood goes over to Cloud9 actually, and what a nice job here. They don't give up the play. They do lose out on the crab though, which is a big no-no for Blabber here. He loses that crab, big golden experience, and most importantly his mark did not, well, he couldn't pick up, of course, because Canyon with the Morgana W got the last hit on the crab, which is kind of disappointing. You should be able to last hit that if you're Blabber, but he probably was just focused on the PvP aspect of that skirmish. Overall, of course, you trade that crab with that one mark for the first blood on your AD carry any day of the week. Meanwhile, Khan very sneakily here, stealing away the red buff from Blabber, who only now arrives to the scene, gets stunned, no ult on the Kindred, just gets picked up by the Gnar. And maybe there was a lack of communication from Cloud9's top lane jungle duo here, or maybe just him not expecting Khan to actually go for the roam. But now that Gnar is big scary here, as we see that play once more go down. D1G1 actually go in and steal the objective here. Blabber smiting early, then flashes out even. And after that, Cloud9 try to turn around the play, and they succeed in some ways, of course, but Blabber is way down in experience as opposed to that Morgana, and that's really the big identity of that champion pick. We see here once more. One more auto attack, but no, he actually decides to turn for Barrel and hope that his Q would last hit the crab, but at that point it was already too late, and it's Barrel who picks it up. So overall, I would now say that D1G1 has actually come out ahead out of this sequence of plays. Of course, it's really just a different kind of distribution of gold, but in this jungle matchup, this Morg is up way further than it might seem here. It might only look like 26 CS, but that's a whole of a lot in the jungle, and Kindred has been denied her mark once more. So Blabber really not too comfortable, but of course that is somewhat to be expected with that comp out of Cloud9, going here for the full scaling approach in all three lanes, which is usually not that easy to pull off, especially not against an active early game team like D1G1. But of course, in the top lane, if you take a closer look at the individual matchups, that's definitely agency for Victor into Zoe, and also for Gangplank into Gnar to have priority at times. And especially early on, we saw how Fudge was able to control that wave. Now though has fallen behind that Gnar in terms of experience at least, and also that roam that Khan got off was big time impact, where Blabber really caught off in the jungle. Alright, it's not all doom and gloom though. It's only 500,000 gold for now in favor of D1G1, and that 1.5 level advantage, I would assume, for the Morgana in the jungle is somewhat to be expected. That's the one big thing this champion does. It just clears camps faster than any other champion after the buff to its clear speed. And time again, I really like that out of D1G1. They use the early better skirmishing lanes to set up vision in Cloud9's jungle every time, so they pretty much play with map packs on here, never unaware of where Blabbers are actually located, and they do spot him out all the time. We see a nice little statistic coming in here, but hold that thought as we see a bit of skirmishing in mid as well as bot lane. Cannon barrage called down, Barrel still no flash, I believe. He just gets taken out. Beautiful bait here out of Cloud9, tempting that Leona to go in and then subsequently just taking her out. Perks nice sidesteps on these bubbles time and time again. Chases off Showmaker with his own ultimate. Doesn't get a whole lot of damage done, but at least defends his turret, where D1G1 picked themselves up a few turret plating. Sven dodges out on these Jhin ultimate shots expertly, really, and able to land some nice poke as well onto Ghost. He might look for that all-in kill, but Canyon, of course, there to back his AD carry up, and no flash on Sven means there's really no way into this 1v1 for him on the Varus. Although with that second kill now going over to that AD carry for Cloud9, they aren't looking too shabby at all for now. The mid lane gold advantage as well as jungle is still gonna be a relevant factor, though. We see the quick reactions here from Cloud9 to Devour, and then Sven flashing the Leona ult, and immediately the cannon barrage comes down, gets that second kill. Every cannon barrage so much has netted a kill, so I want to really commend Cloud9 for that one. They are always trying to be first for these drakes, and they are succeeding in doing so, but then every time getting pushed off by D1G1. Let's see if they can do it again here, the Korean representatives, that is. Flash onto Perks out of Barrel, he gets rooted up, gets devoured, but that means that Sven has no way out of this one anymore. No flash and no Tom Kench devour. He gets the kill onto Canyon though before the stun comes through, and therefore Cloud9 are looking really good in this skirmish so far. Barrel gets knocked into the very far backline, and Perks takes him out. Expert skirmishing here coming out from Cloud9. They all survive that encounter, which looked so difficult to play out for them. They give D1G1 the strategic victory in that they cede the control of the dragon area and the bot side jungle as a whole, quite frankly, but they pick themselves up another 2 kills here. Sven in the 1v1 versus Canyon, very surprising to be honest, and of course Perks himself here getting flashed on from the Leona, and then the binding follows through of course from Canyon, but Vulcan is there ready to devour him up, and Sven then just before the stun activates, he takes out Canyon's Morgana, and Barrel really so nicely played from Perks, flashes out, and then with the fadeaway laser picks himself up that kill onto the Morgana. Khan once more trying to catch somebody off at the enemy red buff, but this time around Cloud9 are more cautious in approaching that jungle camp, and therefore, even though the Gnar bar was nicely stacked here by the side of Khan, he wasn't able to really get in range to CC anybody down, which of course this Gnar is more than capable to do. Tons of CC in his kit, and with the Mega Transform, a bunch of damage as well. Whew. Okay, so the dragon has yet to be taken, and Perks takes a huge hit of damage here from Showmaker in the mid lane. For the first time we saw him actually get hit by one of these bubbles, and Cloud9 once more try to make a play for this dragon. They are always first at the objective, they're always starting it up, and this is the third time that they're doing so. Maybe this time it seems as though they are also able to take it down. There we go, 1-1 in dragon, and that's very huge actually. With this Ocean Soul coming up especially, you really, if you're playing the late game composition here, it's your top priority not to give the enemy team an impactful late game teamfighting soul, and Cloud9 are at least delaying that by another 5 minutes for every dragon they are taking themselves. So I really can't fault them for anything they have done so far. I have liked the game plan. They are taking a very passive approach, but probably just admitting to themselves that they are not going to outplay D1G1 early on across the board, and are hoping to get towards a somewhat favorable game set in the late game like this. Perks, of course, again dodging out on the trouble bubble as well as the dark binding here. So fancy feat in that middle lane, and very hard to catch out. On the other side though, again, as well, D1G1 bot lane dodging out on the Chains of Corruption means that there's really no tower dive possible here from Cloud9. Had that Varus ultimate landed, they might have pulled the trigger here. Blabber just barely getting himself over the wall before getting CC'd up, and Perks stepping up very boldly here into the enemy now. No flash on that Victor. I wonder why Khan couldn't have just flashed onto him there, but Cloud9's support jungle have showed up with the Abyssal Voyage, but it was really just a trade of ultimates at the end of the day. Tahm and Kindred ultimate used just for that Gnar ultimate and the Gnar flash, to be fair, so that's a decent trade. You're always scared of that Gnar flash ult when you're playing immobile champions like Cloud9 are doing. Well, it's looking good so far, at least better for the North American representatives than many experts had anticipated. They are behind 1,500 gold, but remember, gold leads are very relative to be taken in consideration with the team compositions overall. So in terms of game state, it's really an even game, I would say. And having that gold on the Varus, who's building full lethality, by the way, it seems. Um, huh. It seems as though they are on a good track here. He's gonna deal massive damage to anybody that isn't the Gnar, of course, who has already stacked quite a bunch of armor, and is therefore not gonna be as well. Not as faced by this lethality, Varus tickling him with the piercing arrows. But other than that, he's gonna wreak havoc on the enemy backline, especially. Really no way of blocking those Varus spells. Of course, Morgana's Black Shield not effective against the piercing arrows that are gonna come through repeatedly. Huh, alright. Overall, I like what I'm seeing so far, but also that means I also like what D1G are doing, because they are not relenting and they have realized that they need to get more ahead early on than they are currently leading this game, and therefore they are continuously pushing in all three lanes. They are taking as much jungle farm and of course the Rift Herald now, second one as well, as much as possible really. And yeah, I have done a good job so far. 2 turrets already raised by them, and the third one in the bot lane is about to come tumbling down as well, judging by its HP at the very least. Showmaker lands a bubble onto the Tahm, but of course there's no serious follow-up to be expected. Blabber going fishing here for Ghost in the jungle. Cannon Barrage comes down, and I do expect Ghost to have to burn his flash here, but instead, even though the Abyssal Voyage and the Cannon Barrage were used, D1G can just simply walk it off here. There was some nice patience out of Ghost here just with the heal, and the Gale Force gets away from that catch attempt out of Cloud9, and that surprised me as well, quite honestly. Fudge, we can see in the top lane here, almost level 13. That's the one level spike that's really important on the Gangplank. Level 13 means you can finally participate like a real champion in team fights, of course, with the quicker barrel ticking down rate, or whatever it's called. Anyways, you get the point. This Gangplank is just about to be useful in team fights, and with that first item completed, he already does some good damage, although he would like to have another second or third one in order to really be able to dish out the numbers here. Showmaker with the attempt onto Perks down, but Victor backing off far enough not to get hit by the Zoe, Q after getting slapped, therefore nothing too terrible going down. This time around though, we see exactly how you set up for dragons, meaning pushing out all the lanes you can, and then moving in first to the objective while having vision control yourself here. And you see the jungle and the river as well. It's all blue, it's all D1G's wards really. Perks might just get killed here, honestly. He does get CC'd for ages, but has the backup of his team, therefore does not quite go down. Flash still available as well for the Victor, so I might have been a little bit premature with that. But that being said, Cloud9 really have to check into a big abyss of darkness here in the river. They are having a really tough time walking into the river area and contesting for the dragon. Perks has now reset and is teleporting back onto the map. So I'm gonna bet that they're actually trying to contest this one. Herald summon in the mid lane, and D1G can really play for time here. Cloud9 realized this and have started up the objective, but the teleport from Showmaker comes in as well. Even gets the Ghost activation, and Perks is stepping up very far, trying to dish out damage. Cloud9 have so far secured themselves the objective and are now going to be tasked with a big task here, trying to get out of this one alive, and they're flashing all across the board here, trying to flash out over the wall. Fudge, luckily in a bush without vision for D1G, gets himself out of there after getting bound and just runs for the hills. Cloud9, like a miracle, have been able to survive all these assaults from D1G's members here, the Zoe bubbles, the Leona ults, and of course the Dark Bindings as well. But what did it cost? At least the mid turret for Diamond Kia, and they finally get that tier 1 bottom as well. But overall, the most important thing is that Cloud9 now don't really need to contest these subsequent upcoming dragons. Perkz getting caught out here in a 2v1 situation. Vulcan teleports in, Perkz moving forward aggressively, even forcing out the Jin Flash, and you see what a madman this guy really is. On 100 HP, holding his own flash and instead turning towards the enemy 2-man duo, forcing their flash out as well. Ghost now without his summoner might be a target of contention for Cloud9. Maybe a Varus ult, maybe a Tahm Kench ult behind him can catch him out now. Although he has done a decent job so far avoiding any pick attempts from Cloud9. Vulcan might be a bit far out here in the open, but with the cleanse able to walk out of there. Really didn't get much done here though in terms of vision setup, and therefore pretty much just loses that summoner spell for free, if I might say. They are trying to keep control of at least their own jungle entrances, but we see here Morgana and Zoe walking in there means that Cloud9 just have to back off all the way. Fudge now getting completely all in by Khan here, and he's dead for good, honestly. What a nice all in here, and pretty much just a greedy mistake from Fudge, if we're being honest. Sven now getting devoured, still alive in the backline, but no summoner spells available. Gets taken out by Ghost, and it's a 3-for-1 trade for Diamond Kia as the dust settles. Perkz tries to pick up the scraps here, but it might just be the Baron for Damwon. They're already pinging the objective and moving over. Cloud9's jungler is still alive, but too low to really contest for the objective. Now coming reinvigorated out of his base. But Diamond Kia have already started up the objective. They don't have the quickest Baron, but Morgana does it faster than you might think. 8,000 HP remaining, and Blabber might be in time still to try and go for a steel cannon barrage, and Diamond Kia just abandoned the objectives like that. Gameplay and teleport also available, so probably a wise choice from them not to go too far here. Perkz getting slapped by the Zoe bubble, very nicely placed there by Showmaker, but of course no follow-up available. Means that Cloud9 just get away with that sigh of relief. The shutdown onto Sven was a big one though, so I wonder who got that. It must have been either Ghost, I think it was Ghost, or Khan. Either way, a big shutdown going over to Diamond Kia here for the 3 kills that Sven had accumulated over the course of this game. He finally got taken out without his summoner spells, and only the Devourer of Vulcan was finally not enough to keep him alive. Well, Fudge once more getting ran down here by Khan, and doesn't land the barrel chains, therefore drops lower and lower. Khan might have overreached a bit though, but he gets a gnaw of 2 men stunned into the wall, and all of Diamond Kia are ready to collapse already. Blabber almost dead here, comes out of the Lamb's Respite and falls. It's a 3-4-0 trade with Perkz now also finally dying for the first time in this game, and Sven gets CC'd up in the backline as well. Almost dead before Vulcan devours him and spits him out back into his own base. But that was a disastrous teamfight for Cloud9. They realized Khan was chasing down Fudge and tried to turn it around onto him, but were not able to capitalize in any way, shape or form. Therefore, trading a 3-4-0 kill differential and a bunch of summoner spells lost as well over to Diamond Kia, who are now in firm control of this game. 4,000 gold before they take down this Baron, and this time around there's really nobody who can contest for the objective. Maybe a lucky piercing arrow from Sven, but he does not even have any vision now. With the cannon barrage, gets a bit of that, but rooted up by the Morgana as well, so he needs to be careful, and even gets his flash blown here on the back end of things over the wall from Ghost here with a nicely placed Jin ultimate, even forcing Sven to blow his next summoner. So it's looking, it's getting more and more difficult for Cloud9 as we speak. Every single second it's getting harder, not in a sense that they are getting outscaled, which of course they aren't with their champion picks. At least in terms of team funding, they are going to be fine the longer the game goes on, but they are bleeding gold for now. Let's see how Perkz died. He just got bound and, well, simply gets taken out with the Morgana, placing her W all the way in the backline. No way out of that one for him, of course. And then almost taken down is Savannah as well. But as things stand, Diamond here were able to get everything off of this map. They are now pushing in everywhere. Of course, are gonna get a bunch of turrets as well with that newly acquired Baron buff and the second dragon as well, which means in about 10 minutes both of these teams could threaten for a soul if they were able to get 2 subsequent dragon takes here. Does look like though the game might not last that long anymore, to be honest. Cloud9 do have a good wave clearing in late game composition, but quite frankly against that Baron buff it is looking tough for them. Perks now getting bound. Next Devourer forced out of Vulcan here, and despite Perks continuously stepping up boldly here and clearing waves, returning some poke damage onto the Damwon Kia members, it is looking difficult for Cloud9 to sustain this assault. Everfrost onto Perks, he is dropping low just from the poke that the opponents are just repeatedly throwing at Cloud9, and therefore this first inhibitor in the mid lane is about to fall, and Cloud9 are not looking like they are hellbent on defending it. Next minion wave coming in the bot lane, and the inhib turret is under pressure there as well. Khan about to transform into Mega. This is not the timing where Cloud9 want to force a team fight, but they are stepping up quite far, to be honest here, trying to clear these waves while Khan is all the way in the flank. He doesn't have the flash available, but they need to be aware of this Gnar ult potentially wreaking havoc in their own base here with all these turrets and inhibitors and everything. Oh my lord. They are getting pressure down here in 2 lanes now. The inhibitor turret is falling, and despite Perks' best efforts, he could not wave clear those Baron minions. Next inhibitor under pressure. Second one. Cloud9, are they gonna stake the game in this one, on this one or not? It seems as though the turret will just drop. The inhibitor, excuse me. Sven, thanks to Leona ultimate, now gets engaged on, but the Devour from Vulcan once more saving the day here. They are living to fight another day, it seems, but Damwon are keeping the pressure up. Next now, ultimate transformer, 3-man stun coming out from Khan. Lamb's respite already burned, but the health bars are so low on Cloud9 side, and they are starting to drop one after the other. 1-to-1 kills so far, but now Ghost is cleaning up all the way in the front line here, running around and finishing off the members from Cloud9. It's a triple kill for the Jhin, almost with the quadra kill, but Vulcan refuses to give up those honors to the opponent's AD carry. But with only 2 members remaining, I doubt Cloud9 have the damage here to really fend off this engage from Damwon Kia. They're doing the best to clear the waves, but Showmaker aggressively pushing forward means that now Vulcan is about to drop, and the double Rue comes out, which means this would be the ace, or at least the base of Cloud9 going over to Damwon Kia. The first match of this tournament goes over to the favorites from Korea. 1-0 up in their group, they move. GG's, and what an exciting kickoff to this first day of the tournament.